It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel.
What's up, y'all? It's me, Rhonda.
What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda, and I'm back to talk about. What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. We're over here discussing Love is Blind, season 7. We're doing episode, what is it? 789? 789. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So the couples are leaving Mexico and they're going back to DC to stay in their little, apartment situation, which is kind of cute because they stay, it's like dorms, you know what I'm saying? So your homies that you just left the pod with are like your neighbors now. So you could go hang out and, get everybody's business. And, in the process over here, some people get to see each other's crib and then the other people get to meet each other's friends and family. So we're going to start with Garrett and Taylor. They seem to be the couple that is actually maybe trying to have a real situation. I feel like the problem for them and their families, everybody over here on this camp has an issue with the expedited timeline. Nobody likes that. I don't like it. I mean, I feel like 10 days is enough for somebody to not get lucky over here, apparently. After that, it all goes downhill for most of the couples. Taylor threw out there that Garrett hasn't been in a relationship in 7 years. And I'm like, I don't know that that's necessarily a negative. I think some people hop from relationship to relationship, and some people, need a lot of time in between to, figure out what the hell you're going to do next. You know what I'm saying? With yourself. I need some me time in between. I can't be bouncing from thing to thing. I get where he is with that. Especially if like he's a microphysicist, whatever he said he was, whatever his title is, scientist. She's a scientist. He's a physicist. Seems like he dedicates a lot of his time to his work. And he didn't say he wasn't dating in 7 years. He hasn't been in a relationship. If you don't have time, it's hard to do that. So I'm not going to judge him for that. He lives in a small town, so they all know Garrett over there. He's a physicist or whatever his title is. I'm gonna look it up. What is this man's job? Because I'm tired of saying it wrong. Garrett is a quantum physicist. I'm sure in his hometown that there's probably not a whole lot of people that even communicate on his same level. So there's that. She's a scientist, but she's also like a part-time over here in DC. Because come to find out, this lady lives in San Diego a lot of the time. That's where she lives, San Diego. Girl, if you from San Diego, why are you over here in DC trying to matrimony somebody on a TV show? You know that you were going to go back to San Diego, but I mean, I guess they discussed it in the pods. Garrett has never left his small town, so he's open to it, but that's also a big thing. Like, I might go over there, check it out. He's open to it. You get in your small town and you want to see some other things, I think. And it's not cold over there in San Diego. So he got a, whole nother lifestyle. They meet Garrett's parents. They seem like nice people. Beautiful home. His mother is tight. Whew. She ain't gonna show it on TV, child, but his mother is tight. I can see it in her face. She's uncomfortable with how fast this process is going, and I can see why she would feel that way. And she's probably like, you're cute and everything, girl. And, let's be clear, not going to turn her grandchildren brown. So she's probably okay with it for the most part. I don't think that's her real concern. I think her concern is her son just went in a pod for 10 days, come back with this lady talking about he's about to make her his wife and possibly move away to San Diego. And mom, you need to let go, but it's not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of crying involved. You have to turn that sadness into excitement for your child to experience something different. San Diego's far, child, but you look like you could afford a plane ticket or two, Airbnb and things. They go see Taylor's house. Taylor's house is in the basement of somebody's actual house. She's like renting a little space underneath the house. But they do things like up there. See, down here in Florida, we can't be putting no rooms down underneath anything. You'll be swimming. So, up north, they can do that kind of thing. Anyway, she's probably not there for very much because she lives in San Diego. So she just needs a place to stay for when she's in DC. I don't know how long a time she spends in DC, long enough for her to rent an apartment. So maybe she, is bi-coastal. Clearly, she has her whole support system out in San Diego. So her parents, she said she got a lot of family out there. So Taylor is not having to move outside of her comfort zone necessarily. But honestly, the fact that they could super have a house in DC and just make sure that both places are somewhere where they spend a substantial amount of time. I don't know what quantum physicists do, but it seems like he just needs a lab or something. He can do that from wherever. Garrett says he wants to raise his children close to his family, and that's why that lady crying. She was like, he gonna go over there to San Diego and have babies, and then I'm not gonna be able to see him, and they're gonna be closer to the other grandmother. That's what she's thinking. That's not the way she dreamed it when she dreamed of what her son's life was gonna be like. She did not dream of him going over there on the other coast of the United States with a ethnically different young lady. We said you ain't really worried about it, but it's definitely something you're thinking about. It wasn't what you pictured. I don't think his dad cares. His dad seems a little more laid back than the mother, so he'll figure it out, child. He's been married to her for a long time. She probably gets this way about lots of things. Now they have this conversation, they're having dinner, and they have this conversation about what if her family doesn't approve? It doesn't seem like, from what we can see so far, her mother is going to be real excited about this whole situation. Yeah. Nobody's mother should be. So if you're over here saying do the damn thing and congratulations, I hope that's all based on a conversation you had before you decided to go on this show. I hope y'all are really not over here sending your kids off to get married to strangers with your blessing. There's nothing that my daughter can say to me to make me be like anything other than what the hell is wrong with you. Not for real, you're not going to marry. I don't think that's something I need to worry about. Garrett meets Taylor's friends. I just feel like this is why we look at them like this couple that we like so much, because everything they do seems to blend in so, naturally. The friends liked him, and he's very good at being social. He might be a quantum physicist, but he's also somebody who is not uncomfortable socializing with people. And he's likable. I don't think you can necessarily fake that for the most part. Her friends were like, so how is, she over here in San Diego. How do you feel about that? Everybody's like, so you're just going to leave your business? And it seems like Garrett is willing to give up everything to go be with this woman. Now, when you say things like that, Garrett, I start to question how for real you really are, because there's no fairy tales over here. You like her a lot. You've been in your town forever. Your job can go anywhere. You don't mind going to San Diego and seeing what it's like, how you like it. Say it that way. Don't say I'll give up anything for her, because you don't know her like that. You might get Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde over there. It's not even been 30 days, Garrett. I don't know how serious these conversations be over in these pods that have people going head over heels in love with each other. They did say they like how Taylor is with Garrett, so that means they just know she likes him for real, because she's, she seems like a tough cookie. She definitely seems like somebody that's used to getting, convincing you to do things the way she suggested that they get done. I don't think though that Garrett giving up everything should be a requirement for them. Like, I don't think that's gonna be a positive thing. Next thing he'll be over here in San Diego, like Christina on Love and Marriage Detroit, talking about how he gave up his hopes and dreams for this lady. So don't do that, Garrett. Don't give up all your hopes and dreams. Y'all just need to negotiate a schedule, a East Coast, West Coast schedule. Now, West Coast, the weather be, I don't think they got bad weather over in San Diego. That's what I heard. The East Coast, it's giving once in, couple few months in the spring and a couple few months in the fall. Babies get to see the trees and things change colors. And that grandmama could be over there baking cookies and apples and doing things with leaves with the grandchildren. She'll be okay with that. She's not missing out. I'm like, Garrett, do you hate your life over there? Don't seem like it. Who's next? Hannah and Nick. Hannah and Nick are back in DC. They got in that apartment and Hannah busted down the roommate expectations. You are to take out the trash without me asking. When I sweep the floor, you sweep the floor. When I bust down the edges around the house, you bust down the edges around the house. In the morning, even though it's my dog, you're gonna get your ass up and walk the dog. My jobs are your jobs and your jobs are my jobs. Nick is like, hey, that's cool. I'll just get the trash. All right, don't worry about it. I'll go ahead and sweep the floor. We'll schedule it. Nick, are you afraid of her? Say, girl, I'm not about to do that every day. We need a different chore schedule because your chore schedule is just a little too stressful. Now you don't work, so you don't have nothing to do but bust this thing down. I got things to do. Tell her, Nick, for God's sakes. She seems a little OCD, so that, you know what I'm saying, is that's on another level. That's on another level. It's one thing to be neat and tidy. This seems like he came from a neat and tidy home. So I don't think, which doesn't necessarily mean anything besides his room. Anyway, ciao. I just want Nick to speak up for himself. We didn't see her apartment where she lives, but we did see Nick's house. He lives with his parents. Nick said he was out here traveling and playing football and things, and he didn't need to have an apartment to pay rent. That makes sense. But Nick, you've been home for 2 years, and I'm still not giving him a hard time about not if he's saving his money to buy a house, it doesn't make sense for him to be paying rent at an apartment. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He doesn't have any of those things. Like he's from football to real estate. He's got to put his energy into real estate. So I can see why he's like not in any rush. I feel like he's in a position to get a house when he's ready. So I don't think that's a thing. He don't seem like he's in any rush to go nowhere. Nick, you need a timeline. You're 28. Now, by the time you're 30, get out. You could go get you a house. You'll have enough house money by then. He took her around the house. He said he ain't brought nobody really over there like that because he's not focused on that. And I believe him. It's so funny that they painted him as this suave guy. Oh, he's a smooth talker and he seems very regular. He was like, I've been telling y'all I'm a regular guy from the get. Y'all were the ones that said I was all smooth operator. They have a talk about finance. I think that's an important conversation to have. She was not playing no types of games when it came to, she got all the questions. I'm not mad at her questions. Her delivery is kind of aggressive and it's a little bit scary, Hannah. Maybe you should just fall back just a little bit. Just a little bit. But she had good questions. These are things you need to know. Like, I need to know how I'm navigating. So if we're getting in here, I'm not trying to be thinking that who's gonna pay the phone bill? Like, how are we gonna split these things up and there won't be any types of problems? But she's talking to him like he's her child. She's like, do you need to invest in stocks? He was like, I don't know nothing about that. I'm gonna say this about stocks. Don't nobody want to get involved in stocks when they don't understand. So if he ever decided to take a moment to understand stocks, he's probably not going to learn from you because you're a little aggressive in your teaching method, Hannah. So cover your own stocks. But I like that conversation. I'm not mad at her. I just want her to take it down about a few notches. Jesus. $300 a week on groceries, girl. She must be shopping at Whole Foods. What are you doing for $300 a week for one person at the grocery store? Now I know it's expensive, and y'all's boy is out here so worried about us getting some bacon. She need to let him do the grocery shopping. She said it's her way, Hannah's way or the highway. It's my way or the highway, baby. That's what it seems like. That's not how you have a good relationship. It can't be your way or the highway. And stop trying to act like it's when she talks to other people, she talks as if he's dumb. He's definitely not dumb. He's just chilling. He's just Nick doing his thing. She's not wrong, Nick. It is time for you to start paying. Get off your mama's phone bill. She looked at him like a damn fool. Is your mama gonna keep paying your phone bill? He was like, yeah, like, why not? She was like, pay your own phone bill, Nick, and your own car insurance and stuff. Mom, why are you over here doing all of that? Now, we're not finna pay nobody's car insurance, not doing that. Do you have a job? I feel like when I got a job, that was the first thing I had to pay for. My mother was like, and you will be paying your own car insurance. Da-da, here's your car. But that insurance, your phone bill, Nick. And honestly, Nick will be going from a situation where his parents are doing all the work. They pay the mortgage because it's their house. They pay the phone bill. He's carried on their plan. They pay his car insurance. He don't even know when it's due. So he doesn't have any responsibilities. So going over there with Hannah, he's gonna have to get with somebody that's gonna, be managing all of that. She's gonna be like, go get the money and bring it over here. I'll make sure we have nice things. If they become a thing. He meets her brother. They're in the kitchen cooking. She got this man scared to boil water. It's like living with a sergeant over there. He's like, do I put a half a bowl, a half a pot, or what? How do I boil the water, child? Her brother's cute. They come over and her brother actually like makes Nick feel more comfortable. Like this girl, she can dish it, but she can't take it. So she gonna say some slick shit, and if you hit her right back with another one, she ain't gonna like it. And he did say something about having a job. She took it off her. You just mad because I make more money than you. From what? Your stocks? And I mean, if do your thing, girl. Shit. You can afford to don't work and go on a TV show and snatch yourself a husband to bring home and tell and boss around. I'm trying to think of the dynamic between her parents. Yeah, I feel like her mother be running shit over there in that household. So Nick and Hannah's brother, she walked off and they had a moment, to talk a little bit. And he was like, he feels like she talks down to him. You feel like that because that's what she's doing. And he admits that some of the stuff she be saying is hurtful. Like, keep calling that man short. I'm taller than Nick. You're actually not taller than him. And I don't know why she keeps making that an issue. Somebody else gonna be out here talking about he's fine, and then she gonna be in her feelings. So Nick meets Hannah's parents, and I mean, they seem like nice people. Hannah is very kind of, and according to her mother, like very stressed and tense around them. And I'm wondering, like, is Hannah because her mother was over there like locking the snacks up? Now she feels like this need to be perfect. I don't know. When she said her mama was not locking up the snacks, I was like, that now that's cruel, Hannah's mother. Just don't buy the snacks. Don't bring it in the house, but don't lock it up. That's just so damaging, I feel like. And look at her out here running around washing off the baseboards on Saturday. I washed the baseboards. I was like, you go, girl. I'll keep my baseboards clean, but every Saturday, you don't have nothing to do. I don't even think housekeepers do it every week, every Saturday. They keep the house clean, but they probably like, the baseboards look like they need to get done. Not every week. Girl, that's an obsession. Her mother says she's very nitpicky when it comes to men. And so, they're telling you what it is, Nick. It ain't just you. This is how she does when she gets out there and gets in a relationship. She gets very nitpicky. until finding a reason to get rid of him. So when she's giving you those little jabs, write it down like she did. Make a little list, write it on and leave it on the nightstand. See how she like it. At the end, they encourage her to go ahead and move forward with this man that they just met. Now he could sit up there looking like Opie with his freckles and smiling and saying, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. But you don't know this man. He lives at his mama's house. That was your dream for your daughter to run out and meet some man that lives in his mother's basement. I'm just saying, I like Nick, but you know, this is from a parent's perspective, not a viewer. Her dad was not helpful at all. What kind of father? Well, don't overthink it, but don't underthink it. Thanks, Dad. Hannah gets to meet Nick's parents. They're also seem like very nice people. You know, what are they going to do? Come on TV and act a fool? Some people's parents, mother did come on TV and act a little bit of a fool, but we'll get to that in a minute. I feel like Hannah dresses according to who she is that day. I told you she be costuming. I don't mean like I'm going to his parents' house, let me throw some jeans on her. You know, she dressed like in a little flowery dress. She's very intentional with how she shows up. She was the hot pirate wench. She was Britney Spears, cheerleader. Oops, I did it again. Yeah, that was how she showed up. Then she was like, you know, I guess she was being a boss in that leather coat sitting at the table. Who eats in a leather coat? Anyway, we over here at Nick's house. She brought nice gifts. It was cute or whatever. They were very thoughtful, I think. Nick's mom and Hannah, they cook with each other. That's really personal. I like that. That's different than sitting in a restaurant having an interrogation. Like letting somebody in your kitchen to cook with you is a whole different experience. I like that. And you know what's crazy? Yeah, she came across a little more likable over there at Nick's house around his mother. She should put on that flowery dress more often, and this makes her a lot more likable than that crunchy lady that lives at the house with the leather coat on. At the end of it all, I still don't know why these people are so anxious to hand their kids over to somebody that they just went in a pod with for 10 days. So there's that. Marissa and Ramesses. Well, they're getting interesting over here, aren't they? So we know Marissa was in the Navy. She was in the Navy for 7 years, but not only that, she grew up on a military base. So she's been around this whole military life all of her life. It's kind of part of her foundation as a human. She also has a lot of conflict with, so apparently not only was she around a lot of military, she was also around a lot of Mormon community. And she has a lot of conflict with that. You know, she grew up in, saw the light, Carol Ann, I suppose. I don't know. She's an adult now. I mean, when you're a child, you're under the influence of your surroundings, most definitely. She's also a Black woman, so she had to adjust to, I don't know that that's a whole thing over there where the Mormons be. I don't know where she grew up at, so. She did grow up with nothing. And, you know, they talk about how little they had when they grew up, both of them. And so then I guess based on her Mormon community, I think she said it was a coach, one of her coaches, she was able to do Disney and things like that. So, you know, she's being molded probably based on people. She said the people was nice. They did nice things for me. So, you know, we're just seeing like what it was her upbringing that, you know, turned her into this bubbly person, because the being like so poor and being in this environment that was I would imagine it's a different book of rules. I don't know what their book of rules is over there, but I'm pretty sure it's a patriarchal situation where, you know, you grow up learning that somehow men have more value than women. I feel like all the books of the rules say that. It don't really matter what religion you call yourself, but anyway. It's just odd. I mean, she has this she has this very bubbly personality that doesn't necessarily like go along with some of the things you hear. You know, she's more stern. She's argumentative. These things, these negative things that they say about her, they happen off camera. We only hear people talk about them. We only see her being like always smiling and uplifting and bubbly. So yeah. I guess nobody's that all the time at some point, but she's not letting us see that. We haven't seen that. She also has some conflict with the military. She said there was brainwashing. That's what it felt like to her. I'm sure much like the Mormons were over there brainwashing. I can see that conflict also being benefiting from being a part of the military. And the hard part of the military is war and fighting. And there's nothing about that can feel good. Especially when there's casualties of war that didn't have nothing to do with the politics and all of that. And I'm sure it can be very conflicting, Ramesses. However, it's a big part of who she is. Like when you talk about core values, this isn't just 7 years of her life is a long time, first of all. What is she, 31, 32? Second of all, it's all she's ever been around. So a good amount of the people that she admires and loves were in that military community. Her friends are all military. And Ramesses has a soapbox that I'd like to kick his ass off of, for real, for real. It was just his being judgmental of her being who she is. What you pick her for? This is not, you were in a situation where you could have easily been like, that whole military thing, like it's such a conflict with me and what my beliefs are. I don't know if I want to move forward with that. It wasn't because she's fine. You didn't know that because she was on the other side of the pot. So what was it that made you pursue this woman who grew up in the military to be the person you want to matrimony? Ramesses, I did not like it. Now she's sitting over here like in tears because he just tried to make her feel bad about who she is. And then out of his mouth say, I know I'm privileged to live in the country. It just seems a little hypocritical. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. I think, war is not something that anybody, is jumping in joy to go into. I don't think there's mothers and families over here that are worried about, their family members going to fight. We know the government is making selfish, disgusting decisions. And he kept saying, I mean, you signed up for it. Yep, she did. She went to go fight for her country. We're clear that you won't, although that you live in the privilege, that you put yourself in, but that's neither here nor there, because I'm not even judging his stance on things, because I probably agree with his point of view, to be honest. But I feel like you shouldn't have picked this girl, though. It's super hypocritical. Being Black in the United States, that's a constant conflict. Every time you see the flag, I speak for myself. Every time I see the flag, it's a constant conflict. Ramesses meets her friends, a couple of military girls, to go over there and insult them because he's better. How is that going to go? Like, pretty much he's like, if she has anything to do with the military, this thing that's, it's a big part of her life, her whole entire life, we ain't gonna be able to make it. See, that's something that you should have thought about back over in the pod. He started bringing up Palestine, and I'm like, listen, are you doing, like, I don't know what he does. Are you activist for any of these things, or are you just like one of these people that posted on, Facebook? I don't know what your job is. I know you do it from home. I'm not sure that you're any type of activist for any, and I don't mean that in a bad way. This boy Bohdan, the other choice, went all the way to Ukraine to help fight that fight. I guess you don't have no respect for that. The more I talk about him, like, I mean, I don't know what he was over there saying. To be honest, I was hoping that she was gonna pick Bohdan. I think that's how you say his name. He was my choice. I chose the other guy. She chose this guy. I don't know, he was in there, Mia Moore in her ass, and she got all, warm and fuzzy inside. And I don't think she's one of these girls, like, I think she doesn't care of the race of the person that she's dating. So that would have been an issue for her. When he met her mama, and her mama let him have it. I was like, ooh, wee. She was saying all the things that you should be thinking and not saying, Mom. She's a whole lot of angry energy, but I've given it to her because she's like, this girl got me coming over here about some man that she'd have met in a pod for 10 days, and now she's supposed to be marrying him. Girl, what? This is the type of stuff she was doing in high school, and I didn't think at this big old age when you're about to graduate from law school that I'll be over here having this conversation with you and this stranger that looks like one of your brothers. It's weird. And I don't like his clothes. He's dressed as like an 80s breakdancer. He's got Jerry curl hair. That's what her mother said. And I was like, and them two things hanging down. Standing on a soapbox, being judgmental of your daughter about the service that she served for her country. She was rude. I ain't feeling your fashions. I was like, you ready for this? At first I was irritated with her, but now I'm kind of not, because she didn't even hear that conversation that they had. She had to raise her children by herself. Now, they was discussing a lot of baby daddy, so I don't know what was going on over there with her mother and the baby daddies, but ain't none of them stuck around, I guess. And now she's very bitter on relationships. So I don't know that she's the person to even be asking, because she's not on some, a marriage is not for me. She's on some, this shit ain't real no way. She's super bitter. And she wants a prenup. So I don't know what kind of work you do, young man, Shabadoo over there, but I'm gonna need you to sign a prenup. Then she threatened to cut off his balls. Speaking of his balls, they brought up, when do you want children? That's ironic. I feel like for 10 days, some of the questions y'all are asking now should have been asked a long time ago. When do you want to have children? They settled on a 3-year timeline. He said for 4 years. So does he want kids? 4 years, she's like, I ain't trying to be damn near 40 starting now. I was thinking more like 2-3 years. So they settled on 3 years. And I don't understand. Unless both people don't want children, I don't understand like the whole idea of marrying someone and then waiting like 5-6 years to have children. Like, you get married, you start the family, you get it out of the way, and then you could go ahead and, retire peacefully at your, summer winter house, whatever. They start discussing birth control. And here's where he should, what's this girl? Marissa's mama? This is where you could go cut this boy's balls off, because he is 100% against wearing a condom. It's just not good. He doesn't like it. And I mean, she's like, yeah, well, I'm not taking any birth control. And I'm like, why do men never want to take any type of responsibility for contraception? Never. Go get a vasectomy then. We'll just undo it when it's time to have babies. No, we're not doing that. We're not going to be tying my situation and not. What else you got? You got condom and you got, I don't know, Russian roulette. Oh my God. I was like, it is the Mia Moore. That's how he wooed her. He was over there doing all that sexy talk in Spanish. And she was like, ooh, that's what it was. I mean, they liked the way each other looked. I couldn't go nowhere with him with his Jerry curl hair and two things hanging down. I'm with her mother. His clothes is kind of silly. This boy pissed me off. He went from not really doing too much to doing way too much. Ramesses. Let's let the record show that I said I did not pick him in the first place. Tim and Alex. This whole whatever happened between Alex and Tim was kind of a mystery to most of us. It still is. I don't know what set things off, but I was like, some of the things that he said was he asked her, apparently they were at the party and then she just was ready to go. Now, I don't know if he did something. I feel like that's part is being left out. Something he did made her act a certain type of way. Because I do remember him saying he don't have time for he don't mess with immature mess. He said that to somebody in the episode before they were sitting there. So it's real quick. But I'm guessing that was directed towards her. And she seems like a spoiled brat. So I can imagine something he did. I don't know that it had anything to do with him looking at somebody else or anything like that. I don't think that was it. It's like the things he does, and he's intentionally antagonizing. The last girlfriend didn't like the yellow shirt. He gonna buy the yellow shirt. This girl here didn't like that hat. He's like, I like that you don't like the hat. So he does do things. Don't bark or to do the dog thing. I don't know what the dog thing is, but I know she doesn't like it. So he keeps on doing. So he is a little bit antagonizing, and he knows it because he was asking her what's wrong. And he assumed that whatever was wrong with her was something he did. And I assumed that too. Now she's saying, I was just tired and I'm missing home. And I'm like, you're not 12. You're not at summer camp. You're a 32-year-old woman in a resort. Nobody goes to a resort and goes, I miss home. After day 2, are you for real? Girl, stop. You was all the way in Scotland with your meeting your family. So you playing. He did something that irritated you. You start acting and throwing a little tantrum. Then that conversation escalated and y'all sat in front of the camera and clearly spoke about, I felt unheard and I felt disrespected, and it was also calm and ridiculously fake. Y'all had a little liquor in you. You start antagonizing. This is my version. Trying to put 2 and 2 together. He started antagonizing. She started acting spoiled. He asked her what's wrong. She didn't want to say. And she didn't say she was missing home. She just didn't want to say, because I don't want to say. So somebody asked you what's wrong and you just don't want to say. And so it escalated like that. That's what they said. And at some point, he kept telling her to talk and she put her hand on his mouth. Both of y'all are immature. You too, Tim, because that antagonizing is stupid. Now, I'm not saying you should let this girl tell you what to wear or what not to wear. But, purposely like egging. And she's clearly, like I said, a tantrum throwing princess. Whatever it was, they decided to put the fight behind them. Why? So, I mean, after it was all said and done, they hung out a little bit and decided, they were, coming back over here to DC together. I feel like these two are going through the motions, but they don't have a whole lot of emotion. He don't even like to cuddle. So they're in the room together a lot, but, not really together. Like Garrett and what's her name? Taylor, they're in each other's space. Hannah and Alex, Hannah and Nick are in each other's space. Even Monica and light-skinned Steven be over there creepy kissing all the time. Ew. They don't really get in each other's space like that. So I feel like, they have an idea of what, I don't know. I don't know what it is with them. But it's not giving affection and, Tim is very similar to her dad. So I'm like, is that why she chose him? Because she chose the guy that she knows that her father would approve of, because he would see himself in this man. I don't know that Tim is usually the type of guy she goes after. Alex is very immature for a 32-year-old woman. I must say that. So they have the family over. It's her 2 brothers, her mom, and her dad. She said her dad has MS, and so he's wheelchair bound, basically. Like, he doesn't get around at all. Her mother doesn't seem to be as down as the dad, but very nice family. I think her family is very nice. Her brothers were very much interested. They had questions for Tim. The communication with the family actually was almost, I don't know, more genuine. I don't know what it is about these two. I can't put my finger on it. I just don't think they're emotionally connected to each other. So Tim decides after, day before yesterday when they were over here arguing in Mexico, that he was almost changed his mind. He didn't want to go with her no more. Now he's over here reading a letter to her dad. And based on the way that Tim gave her that bracelet that belonged to her sister, this letter been pre-written a long time ago. All he had to do was add her name because this is what he does. He's a performer too. He sat there and read that letter to her. You couldn't possibly feel that way about somebody over this short period of time. Could not. And I feel like her dad was very emotional, of course, with him reading that letter because her dad is not well. I think he is just emotional with the thought of being able to walk his daughter down the aisle. So, and he won't even be able to do that technically, but you know what I mean? But he still needs, he wants to be there for that moment. So I think he's happy that his daughter found this man that's just like him. So he likes this guy. And brought him to a place. And maybe, like I said, that's what she brought him over there for. She know her daddy want to see her, with this kind of story. Have her daddy, clearly he ain't been to her house, child. Her mother says she has no concerns. And I'm like, why not? Why wouldn't you have any concerns? That's not concerning to you that your daughter wants to marry a stranger? It is lost on me, child. Yeah, she told her to say that. She told her mother to say that. Ain't no way. That's not what Garrett's mother was like. I am concerned. I don't want either one of y'all to get hurt. I'm not saying I don't like you. I'm sure you're a very nice lady, but this is fast. That's what Garrett's mama said. And I said, I'm right there with you. And Marissa was like, mother was like, I don't like you. I don't like how you look. I don't like how you dress. But if she gonna do this shit, then sign a prenup because what you won't be doing is getting your hands on none of her money. I was like, I'm right there with you, Marissa's mama. I have no concerns. I'm concerned about that. They go over to Tim's house. He has a nice, very masculine home. You could tell ain't no women up in there. It's okay because it's his. But it's a very nice home. She's sitting over there critiquing his couch. Girl, after seeing your house, I know you're not talking about this man's sofa. A nice leather sofa. And do they have those doggy beds for big dog sizes? Because my baby is too big for that little leather sofa, but I'm gonna have to see if they got one for a big boy like mine. Because I like it. Let me go over to her nasty house. She should be ashamed of herself. I can't believe that her grown ass left out that house like that or lives like that. It's disgusting. And then you let cameras come in there. Tim, don't let her come over your house because she nasty and she gonna have your stuff all over. She gonna throw her stuff on the floor. Who does that? Garbage bags full of things. You got garbage bags full of things that you don't know where they're gonna go yet. So you haven't even separated the stuff. So you got another job to do. And it's already gotten to the point where you need garbage bags. Then there's the stuff on the floor. You said when you was in the pod or wherever the hell you was, when you said, when you throw a few things when you're getting ready to go out and you keep changing clothes and you can't figure out what to wear. And that's a couple few shoe boxes and, a couple few outfits thrown on the bed, child. Tim's face was smiling, but his brain was saying, what in the actual, what? His parents are supposed to come next week, so maybe we'll get a little more of a feel of what his personality actually is. It does help. When you meet the friends and the family, it does give you a little bit better idea, who these people are. Well, we didn't meet none of these day people, Monica and Stephen. Monica and light-skinned Stephen with 3C hair. When they were in Mexico and he was talking, And she said he talked too much. He was chatty. Then she started nagging him about flowers. Remember you said you was gonna buy me flowers, and he checked out. In that moment, I feel like that was probably about the last time he wanted to hear her like put him down. Now he said over in the pod when he announced to this woman that he was a title holding cheater. He holds the title of being a cheater. That's what he said. And she said, don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't be so hard on yourself. He said he did it because he did not feel worthy. That's what he said. He did not feel worthy of that woman. And here you are over here making him feel not worthy. And so I don't know where you thought this was going to go, Monica. When she was over there getting acupuncture and they put the needle in the man's head, she said that needle reminded her of his boner. And I was like, how? What are you saying, girl? I don't know no dudes that want their boner compared to no needle. That's not flattering. He was telling her how, child, she wore this flower thing out. I like flowers. I like gifts, and he was like, well, I realized like I don't have to spend a lot of money, like on some crazy like Kate Spade bag. And she was like, I wouldn't wear a Kate Spade bag. YSL or Louis Vuitton. Why you pick this kind of man? You picked a man who is a regular guy, seemingly who wants to have sex a lot. He says a lot of fuckity fucks. Like, where's your friends? Where are you gonna bring light skinned Steven with the 3C hair? Where are you gonna bring him to hang out at with that potty mouth of his? Because it seems like, your people are just a little more highbrow than that, Monica. You just fell in love with this man, this regular guy who only went to a 2-year college and is an electrician. That's how she put it. He's regular. He's so freaking excited. Oh my God, I've never seen nothing like this. Like everything for him is so exciting. These experiences, this stuff he's never done before. He in the apartment, like, oh my God, this is so. I'm looking at the apartment like it's cute. Like, I don't know what he's so excited about. But okay, where do he live? How is he living? She didn't get that far, I don't think. He was sitting up there telling her how, like, he, in this experience, he don't want to feel forced into marriage. That's about the third or fourth time after she didn't tell him she want flowers and he talked too much. And she, everything he's doing, don't buy me no Kate Spade bag. You're gonna need to buy me a Louis Vuitton bag. Do he have Louis Vuitton money? Has he been spending it on Louis Vuitton before? Because take him in the Louis Vuitton store and see how much of his money you're gonna get, girl. He's having second thoughts, but he don't stand on business. And when she was going in about the flowers, I seen him check out. He literally did like this, like, but she was having sex with him. But once he said he was having doubts, then she said, we've had great sex. And I was like, really? How long was y'all over there? I guess y'all was getting it in. It's so weird. They're sitting in this little restaurant having this conversation, and every time conversation gets too deep for her or goes in a direction she don't like she feels a man slipping away, she says, I love you. And then they have this nasty kiss that I can't, it's the creepy kiss. Every time them doubts show up, she shuts it down. I love you. I don't regret my decision at all. She don't like him either. I don't know why she's acting all dramatic like she wants this light-skinned nigga, because she don't. All the couples are standing around and, last nights or whatever in Mexico must be, they're dressed up. I don't know how it's cut. I don't know if this is the night of the fight or what. No, it was the night after. I don't know when it was, child. Yeah, it was the night after the fight, I think. Anyway, fireworks started. Garrett and light-skinned Steven was having a conversation, and Monica gets upset because he didn't drop it and go stand behind her and look at the stars. Like everything is a freaking moment for her. She's so annoyed. We was all standing there seeing the fireworks. He got to hold your hand. He said, "Look, I was in the conversation with Garrett, and based on what I know of him, when he got to get it out, you got to let him get it out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." He could keep saying he's sorry. She does not accept his apology. It don't seem like it. Then he's sitting there, her and Tyler must be cool because her and Tyler seem to be, each other's friend in the apartment complex and things over here in Mexico. This fool started talking about how being on TV is going to expose him to a lot of things, and there's going to be a lot of home wrecking hoes over here trying to suck his dick. I don't know if he was like trying to give a hint. I don't know what he had going on. He nasty. Once they get back to New York, as soon as they get in the apartment, and he's, like I said, so excited. It's the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. And they like, we gonna have a party over here. She was like, and flowers. Somebody buy this lady a flower, for God's sake. Did she just not have somebody that's ever given her flowers? It's like she's trying to like build the man. The man already been built. They had the flower shop, creepy kissing. They just trying to convince, I don't know, each other. I think he'll have sex with anything. Apparently, macaroni and cheese, pineapples, he doesn't care. And he was over there butt stabbing, she said. He was trying to violate her anal. You better relax, light-skinned Steven with 3C hair. Well, since child. So he got back to the city to find out he don't have a job. He knew he wasn't gonna have no job when he got back. He was over here on TV trying to get some shine because he was looking for these women that's gonna be over there trying to get on that thing, because he was on TV. And I mean, I'm guessing they will, child. So this man, she cut off the coochie, and he decided that since he wasn't gonna get none, while he over here in his dope ass apartment in the sky, you to give it to him and then cut it off because he said he had doubts. Maybe you should have waited. If you would have waited a few days, you would not have gave him some coochie, and you would have found out that he had doubts and that he was over here drunk at the sleep study, nasty texting some woman. She went through the phone. I've seen all these TikTok will have you down the rabbit hole. The TikToks of her saying how she discovered the text messages. It don't matter, girl. You said you had a cheater on your hands before, so you know what to do. You looked at the text because you was wondering what the hell kind of sleep study is he doing, because that sounds stupid. Light-skinned Steven, you don't have a code on your phone? Or is she required you to give up the code in 10 days? How's she reading your text messages? He had to come out for the tongue lashing. He know what he did. He went and sat on that couch. I feel like this boy had already got his bags packed. He was in there buttoning them shirts and folding up his suitcase. He's like, sorry. Sorry, I was wrong. I'm not worthy. She's like, and give me my money back. You was over there talking about you was gonna be his sugar mama, baby mama, because he didn't have a job. Because any other guy, I'm talking about me, if it were me, and this boy said he done lost his job, I'm gonna be like, well, that's a problem. What do you intend to do about that? Because, we're supposed to matrimony in a few weeks. He bounced. He did. He was like, I ain't about to let you keep sit up here and like berate me. I said sorry. I don't really know you like that. Maybe I shouldn't have been on the show in the first place because, clearly I wasn't ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. And she sat there and dramatically cried. And what's this girl, Garrett and Taylor came over there to console her. And I say she did not like him in the first place. She was not that torn up about it. Monica did not like light-skinned Steven like that. She thought she would try something different. And maybe, Monica, you should wait on somebody to buy you flowers besides trying to tell them go do it. You take the fun out of it. I personally don't wait on flowers. If I want some, I get some. I also have a man that buys me flowers. Not for Valentine's Day, but I like the just because ones better. And maybe you should find you a man that likes to buy flowers rather than trying to train one to buy you flowers. And if you want somebody to buy you a Louis Vuitton, maybe they should shop at Louis Vuitton. Those are the kinds of guys that buys you bags like that. Monica, Ashley, and Tyler. We're here for a long time. This show takes a long time to review. Ashley and Tyler. Ashley and Tyler have been painting a fairy tale this whole time. They don't talk about anything real ever. They be like, what is our wedding gonna look like? How many people are we having over? What are the flowers are we gonna have? This dude over here praying and crying and crying and praying, and you should have never told him that in the first place. You didn't gave him the cheat code, and he didn't came out here like doing all the things you said do because you're looking for a TV husband that doesn't exist. Like, be careful what you ask for. Which TV husband was you looking for? Seems like you were looking for Martell Holt. He wasn't on TV when you was little. But that's the type of dude you picked. I knew I couldn't trust Tyler when I see his red shoes match his red jacket. And Tyler is very boring. We know nothing about him. And had he not come up with this whole baby story, we would not be talking about him. We would be sitting over here talking about Ashley's very pretty. Ashley's very pretty. She's very pretty. Because we don't know nothing about her either. She introduced him to her dad, but her dad is also somebody that she hasn't seen in a month. And that she said she didn't want a man like her daddy. So we don't know what kind of man her daddy is, but bet you she picked him. Bet you Tyler is that guy that's just like her dad. Her dad is sitting over here grinning and cheesing and offering her hand over to this man, Tyler. He asked, what is it about Ashley? What do you love about her? Oh, I love that she makes me feel safe. I can expose myself without feeling any judgment, and I can open up to her about anything. You ain't open up to her about them kids. Child. The plural. 1, 2, 3 kids. He said he don't cheat or lie. She liked that he was opening doors and things, and I was like, that's it? He was opening doors and being chivalrous? That's just a start, girl. That's nowhere near the end or the middle. It's like you're not supposed to be excited about something that he's supposed to be doing anyway. And why is it that you don't like, does your dad do that? Did your dad open doors for you and stuff? Like, I feel like, Dad, did you not set the example? This should have been one of her requirements off rip. He gave her his blessings, child. He said he don't play well. I guess you got some work to do, Dad, because this nigga over here playing. For real, for real. They sitting up here discussing who gonna name the kids. What if I name the children? What's child? What are the names of your 3 children that you already got? And I don't feel like they're ever discussing real life things. Like it's in terms of like the honeymoon is over. We back at the crib now. Like Hannah. Hannah is over here like, how we paying these bills? Like for real, for real. I'm not finna be sitting up here waiting on you to take the trash out. When the trash get full, then take that shit out. I mean, after I say so. Like she is the youngest. Now I see why Leo says she was young and mature. This is the side of her that's mature. We didn't hear you saying none of that. Y'all talking about having parties and family albums and child. All that praying. What is you praying about? This is why you can't pray with everybody. And I say that. All that I want to pray with you. I don't know what you be praying about. Now Tyler is over here claiming to be a sperm donor. But the streets are saying he was donating the sperm directly to the coochie. And I don't really know what Ashley's over here pondering. I feel like that's a big lie. That's a big, huge lie. The lie that he told you don't make sense. The real life makes more sense. Is he just concerned that, ain't nobody really gonna want to take him on with 3 kids or take him seriously with 3 kids? I don't believe he maybe not the quality of woman that he's looking for. I don't know. But he ain't coming with a whole lot of quality. And them shoes, them red shoes was a little run over at the soles. Like they wasn't fresh and new. He been rocking them for a minute. Does he ride those? I mean, does he wear those when he's riding all English style? I feel like even now, like he's lying all the way through. He's still lying. Go on TikTok. He over there lying too. I don't know what's gonna happen next week, child, with this, because she's still considering. So it's a possibility that, she might talk her into moving forward. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and when they drop the next few, I'll be here to talk about it. Bye, y'all.